All right, so here we go. Let's get started here. We are going to talk tonight about how to create happiness in your marriage without walking on eggshells. And we walked on eggshells for so much of the beginning of our marriage. And it's nice to take a breather and not have to do that any longer.
Our goal tonight is to provide practical tools to enhance your marriage, your relationship if you're not married and you're hanging out here with us, to create more intimacy, fun, love, enjoyment, not just when you're on vacation, but your everyday life. Every day. How does happiness sound every day? Sounds good to me. Yeah. I want that.
Every day. So if you stay to the end, that's what we hope, is that you'll stay to the end, because we're going to do unlimited Q&A after we finish up the webinar. So any questions that you have, you can ask anything that you have. Everything is on the table. Nothing will be held back. And we have a special offer at the end. So if you're ready, do me a favor and put a "I'm ready" or a "heck yes" in the chat, and we will definitely get rolling. So let's see those heck yeses in the chat. I know I'm going to chat as the admin.
Admin's chatting. Yes, he's ready. So what makes us different? We are a couple coaching as a couple. Normally you see either a man coaching or a woman coaching, but really rarely you see a couple doing this together. You don't normally get two perspectives, a man and a woman's perspective. There's no bias here sexually where I would be like, yeah, I'm siding with a woman because I understand her more. And there's no like, I'm going to side with him because there's more understanding. He knows what men go through. Right. We get to come together in unity and add this value together, create amazing perspective. And the proof is in the pudding here. We actually work together. We love working together. Yep. We're happy together. There's not very many people, and you can ask entrepreneurs everywhere. It is a huge struggle for married couples to work together, and we are killing it. We are absolutely 100% like on the same page, working together. Yeah. It's working amazingly.
And
so we're super excited.
We really believe that marriage is the most important relationship on this planet. So what you see here, like, this isn't an act. We're not putting this on to like show you some show. What you see with us is pretty much what you get. And if you get some weird comments, that's just how we are in everyday life. We're authentic in sharing our struggles and our pain as well, which we'll talk a little bit about as we move along these slides. Nothing from our coaching is going to be hidden from you. We really want to put everything out on the table because we know that a lot of people identify with weaknesses, and we want to help you succeed in life, because it's not a competition. If we all win, we all win. It's about black and black. Everybody wins. So we're a blended family of seven kiddos. Well, 5 kiddos, including us. We're at 7. So I've couple of boys are 20 and 18. They live on their own. But if you look at this photograph here of Noah and Camden and Nathan, this is when we just got married 11 years ago, over 11 and a half years ago.
It was the best
The look on their faces is priceless. If you look at the middle, that's Camden's in the middle and Noah there. They all were just doing their best to kind of try to smile, but it was like the worst day that they could ever think of. And I'm actually trying to squeeze Nathan's shoulder there a little bit to get him to stop like crying and whining, and it was just it was a unique time.
Not working.
And then you look at the other photo, you got Livy and Joel there. They're our youngest, and like Joel and I are like, yeah, let's go down this roller coaster. And Christina and Olivia are just like, well, Christina looks happy, but Olivia doesn't know what to expect. And life is like that. It's like a roller coaster at times.
Yeah, so we've been married for over 11 years. I coach ladies on self-love, success, and fulfillment. And I really love to get deep. I love to get deep into just the mentality of different things, finding the secret stuff that's holding you back. I'm really good at it, and people see shifts immediately. It's crazy, but it's my passion. It's what I love to do. And this hunky man over here.
I get to coach a program called Skinny with Vinny, and it's mind, body, spirit. Because, you know, let's be honest, anyone could have a diet, but it comes down to mindset and knowing, having the right tools to get past like those things that are holding you back with your mind when it comes to working out and fitness, and not reverting back to those old habits when the diet is over. And that's really what we love doing. And we really like each other like 98% of the time. Like, I do really love this woman. I'd say 99.9 for me. But I know I do things that probably get on her nerves, like chewing, and I'll let her say that stuff.
Yeah. I still love him, but he chews like an animal, like a cow.
Can you guys
it's loud? You know what I mean? You know that like the whole bottom mouth, like
I don't know
those are the times that I have had to learn so much to like restrain myself from walking away or yelling or calling him an animal, because that's not nice to do that. You animal, quit chewing.
Do us a favor, just so we have this. I want to know like how long you guys have been married. Like, if you're newlyweds, if you're looking to get married, if you've been married for 20 years, how long have you been married? How many kiddos you got? You know, first marriage, second marriage. Because for us, this is number 2. We'll get into like some of that stuff and the horror that we had for the first marriage and how this is a little bit different. But in the chat, how long have you been married? How long have you guys been together? Like, we'd love to hear that stuff and interact with you there as well. So we have done a lot of things right. Like, we've blended our family really well. We've paid off a mountain of debt. We were just swimming in debt. Our oldest boys are out on their own. We take date nights. We've learned how to communicate. We've learned how to create intimacy in our relationship. We've created connection, honesty, love, passion, but it hasn't always been like that. That's like the mountaintop stuff, but it wasn't always that way.
We've done a lot of things wrong too. Jealousy, fear, insecurities, control, arguing, blaming, frustration, cycles of the same argument over and over and over again. How many times have you gone through these struggles, arguing about sex and money and the kids? Do any of these things resonate with you? I know we're not alone, and that is why we're here today.
Yep, 100%. So after doing this for a decade, we've learned some things that we want to share with you guys today. We want to share with you what we've learned. We've got some practical tools that we use in our marriage, literally, and I mean this, we use these on a daily basis, because there's just times where we'll kind of look at each other and like, you serious right now? Like, we need to like shift, adjust, and get back to what we know works. So we're so excited to share that with you today.
We've discovered the secrets to a happy marriage the hard way. We literally have done this the hard way for 10 years, and we're here. You get to cheat and learn how to be happy in marriage the easy way. So the hard way: dragging your spouse to counseling when they don't want to go. How many of you done that? I have to say,
before you get into it, I don't want to say it was dragged, but we went to counseling early on in our marriage because I wanted to like have oil changes, like as the way I'd put it, like for the car, like just an adjustment. Marriage was fine, but like, let's go to counseling. But it like didn't help. It actually, I don't know if it made it worse for me or what, but I didn't like counseling at all.
Yeah, counseling is difficult because I feel like you talk about the same thing over and over and over and over, and there's no real tools, practical solutions for you. It's just yapping at one another and like learning to listen, which is great. But what tools do you need to make your life a little bit better and happier? Those are lacking. It's truly lacking. So also books. How many books have you read? There's 8 million trillion. I'm really bad at numbers. If you can't tell, there's so many books on marriage, on relationships. What books do you read? What books are good for your marriage? What ones resonate with you? How do you apply the things from the books? What makes sense for you? Yeah. Some books are just straight up like bad information, that cause a lot more damage than good. And here you're trying to help yourself do it alone. And really, you need somebody to help you come alongside you and guide
Yeah.
you throughout your relationship. It is hard. That is the hard way to do any of this, is to try to read books and apply it to yourself and see what sticks and see what doesn't stick. That's hard. Also, this is gonna ruffle some feathers.
We debated on this one a little bit, but I think it's a good one for a reason.
So going to your pastor, we love church, we love Jesus, we love God, we love church. But how many people have gone to their pastor in turmoil in their relationship, and they throw Bible verses at you and you don't understand what they mean? You don't know what the heck they're talking about. And they're just throwing religiosity at you, and you don't know how to apply it, how to make it better, how to create some flame inside of your relationship. You're just told religion, the do's and don'ts, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of times there's, like I said, there's great churches, great pastors. There are a lot of
amazing pastors.
I can't say that enough. And pastors are not equipped, right? You can be a pastor with absolutely no credentials. You can literally just call yourself a pastor and say I'm a pastor and have no credentials whatsoever.
I applied online to do weddings, and it was like $1, and then was certified. So
so although pastors are well-meaning, they have amazing hearts. 100%, they want what's best for you, but they do not have the tools. They are not equipped fully to help you in your relationship compared to what a coach could do.
Right. So here's what we want to ask. Do you want the easy way that actually creates more love?
Who wants the easy way?
Of course, that's what you want. That's why you're here. We want to cut out all the trial and error and give you the results that you want now. So let's do it together so that you can create the marriage that you've always wanted. But at times, and even for us in the beginning and maybe midway through, maybe last week, no, I'm just kidding. It seems like it's impossible to get what you want. And for us, we really believe, and we're believing this for everyone on this call, that results are typical if, and this is a really big if you're willing to apply what you are learning and you really want to get the marriage that you want. So if you're ready for the 3 secrets that we've been teasing for the last few weeks, I want to see another yes in the chat that you're ready for the secrets. We're going to go into those right now. So let's get a yes in the chat. I'm going to say
yeses are flying in the chat. Yes. We are ready.
So the 3 secrets. You ready? You guys got your pen and paper? Secret number 1. Expectations equal frustration. Expectations equal frustration. Frustration. Secret number 2, comparison will kill your intimacy. And we're going to get into all of these and what we mean exactly, and we're going to tell some stories. And secret number 3, trying to change your spouse. So expectations equal frustration, comparison will kill your intimacy, and trying to change your spouse.
I just realized secret number 3 is not like, it doesn't make sense exactly. But good thing we're here so we can clarify the full thought of what became trying to change your spouse. Secret number 3, trying to change your spouse.
So have you ever been frustrated with your spouse? Have you ever been frustrated with your spouse? Give me a little thumbs up or a yes in the chat. I know we both have been frustrated with each other. And we're going to talk about this. So expectations and reality, when you look at that, this chart here, you got your expectations up here, you got reality on the bottom, and everything in that gap, everything in the middle simply leaves you frustrated. So when we got married, it was my expectation that I would get to have sex every single night. I'm married. I'm married. We get to do this all the time. And when it didn't happen, guess what? I was frustrated. I'd roll over to the edge of the bed and huff and puff and do all those things and just be angry. And we actually lived that for quite a while. Or she needs to clean the house. She needs to have a hot meal ready for me when I come home from work. All those things that are simply expectations on your spouse. And conversely, he needs to cut the grass, or take out the trash, or load the dishwasher since I made the food, or whatever the case might be. Those expectations, way up here, and the reality down here, if you are in here, you're leaving a gap and you're just simply frustrated.
Yeah, I remember the day that he came to me and he said, "This is the reason why I got married, was to have sex every day." And
One of them.
huh?
One of them.
Not one of them. You said, "This is the reason I got married." And that moment was an eye opener for both of us. That it revealed his heart. It revealed something.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, because he said it, and because of the way we can communicate now, because it revealed something that was hidden inside of his heart. He didn't know this is the reason why I got married. But when it came out, it revealed it to me. It revealed it to him. We got to go deep and talk about that expectation that he had, as well as I had a lot of expectations as well. I expected him to be my knight in shining armor, like I learned on TV, like I learned through Disney, like I learned through all of the media. All the media, I've learned that this is what my husband should be doing, right? All the shoulds of life. You have expectations that are created in so many different ways, and we can go so much deeper on that, but we just don't have time tonight. However, the expectations that you have, if you're missing the mark, if your spouse is missing the mark on those expectations, you are frustrated.
Yep.
So
100%.
How can you, this is practical today, how can you look at your life? What are some expectations that you've had for your spouse that you've created that are causing you frustration? This alone is going to reveal so much to you, just like it did to us when we realized, like, oh, sex was an expectation. This is why I got married. When we realized that that was in his heart, and that was a belief he held, we got to work through it. And now Vince doesn't roll over every single night huffing and puffing and mad.
Frustrated.
And I'm not walking on eggshells every night because I'm scared I'm going to be pursued. I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to make him upset. I'm afraid that I'm going to frustrate him, because in my heart of hearts, I don't want to make him upset. I don't want to frustrate him.
Right.
I don't want to have this conflict and frustration in our relationship, and neither did he. And so when we were able to get to the root of this specific expectation, it literally transformed our marriage. So you can have a transformation tonight, and you don't need your spouse here to figure it out. You can do it on your own. You can dig deep into your own expectations and see, wow, I've been expecting this, and that's why I'm so frustrated. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's helpful. I know it literally changed our whole life. So at the end of the webinar, go ahead and write down
some self-evaluation.
What expectations are you having for your spouse, and even for your own self? How are you holding yourself to very high expectations? Because if you're like me, that's a big deal. I do that a lot. I hold myself up to this perfection expectation and I fail it. And then I'm frustrated all the time. So if you can catch those expectations, you will transform your life, not just your marriage, your life.
It's good. I love it. Secret number 2, comparison will kill your intimacy. So what do we mean by that? We found this today and we just loved it.
Have you ever seen these Pinterest fails? I thought they were hilarious. I actually did have a Pinterest fail similar to this. It was awful. But your comparison, right? So this cupcake over here that looks perfect, it's by an amazing baker who has taken classes. They've done the work. They know what to do. They know exactly what ingredients to put together. They know how, they're artists. They know how to do the thing, right? And then there's us comparing ourselves to these people on social media,
Right.
right? There's us comparing our lives to professionals or to coaches or to pastors or
Or
to
each other.
each other. We're
Remember, you want to tell a story about when we were comparing each other, like in the beginning when you were like singing at church and doing all that stuff, and I would be jealous and tell you that you couldn't do it anymore.
well,
Or
that's jealousy. That was
that's
jealousy.
true. That's jealousy. That's not
That
comparing.
was jealousy a little bit. But so yeah, comparison will kill your intimacy. If you are comparing yourself to other marriages and their highlight reel and what they're posting on Facebook that looks beautifully put together and it's packaged wonderfully, but you're not seeing what's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You don't know the work people put into it.
That's good.
You don't know if it even is real, because a lot of people are liars, not trying to be. They don't want to be, but we all want to look our best in front of other people,
Yeah.
right? But we know somebody literally not long ago who literally looked like from the outside looking in had everything together, and he did not. And it's a devastating, devastating story. But how many people from the outside looking in have a perfect life, but you do not know? You do not know what they are going through. You do not know what's going on behind closed doors. You do not know the work that people have put into things. You cannot compare your man to another man. Well, he does this, or he does that, or he's emotionally available, or that will kill your intimacy. He will feel like a failure. He will feel like he can't measure up. And the same for women. Oh, she puts out every night. Oh, she dresses up for her husband when he comes home. She does this, she does that. When you're comparing your spouse to other people's marriages and relationships, you're killing the intimacy that you two have.
Right.
Because you two are amazing individuals. You guys are brought together for this union for a reason, for a purpose. And what you two could create if you stopped looking outside of your relationship for something that's good and started looking inside to your own relationship, you will create a beautiful, powerful, amazing connection and incredible intimacy. So comparison will absolutely kill the intimacy in your relationship.
Good stuff. Secret number 3, trying to change your spouse. And what did you?
That's the one that doesn't even make it. Secret number 3, try to change your spouse.
No, but we'll get into it. And this was perfect. And when we found this, we really wanted you to take a look at this photograph and really let it sink in for a moment. Like, look at it. Like it's a square peg going into a round hole, and there's broken pieces all around. There's a hammer there, and really like think about that in your life and how that could apply in some relationships.
If you're trying to change your spouse into who you think they should be, you are damaging them. The pieces of them are falling apart because you're not accepting them for who they are. And how many of us try to change the person we love the most to be who we think they should be? How many times has your spouse tried to change who you are? Right? You know how that feels. And it goes both ways. If they're trying to change you, I can guarantee you're trying to change them also. It goes both ways. And it's damaging and it's painful and it's hard on not only you, but your spouse. It's hard on everybody in the relationship. If I'm trying to change him, it's crushing him. It is literally crushing who he is, who he was created to be, the man that he is, and everything about him. And honestly, I fell in love with him the way he is. And then somehow, some way in marriage, we get married and we think, oh, I don't like this about you. I don't like the way you chew like an animal. So stop.
Expectations start getting in the way.
Piece by piece by piece, we are pounding and pounding and pounding and trying to fit this square peg into this round hole, and it doesn't fit, and it's painful and it's damaging. You need to be who you were meant to be, and you get to accept your spouse for who they are.
That's
who
good.
they are.
It's good.
It's time to stop damaging each other. It's time to stop trying to make them fit into who you think they should be. What would your marriage look like? What would it feel like if you were fully accepted and you got to fully accept your spouse? That will transform your relationship. Absolutely transform it. So we have the 3 secrets revealed. And if you apply these things, you will absolutely transform your relationship tonight.
Yep.
Tonight.
Getting rid of the expectations.
You get to start it tonight. You don't get to wait any longer. Knowledge is power.
Yep.
And you get to start applying these things tonight to transform your relationship. And I know some of you are thinking, well, my spouse isn't here. I need them to be here to hear this. No, you are here for a reason. You showed up.
It's good. You
are here. The knowledge is in you. The expectation for change lies in you. And you have all the power to start the transformation in your relationship. You get to do this tonight. You get to do this today. You get to start to make a change right now.
Love it. Love it. So we were looking at some statistics today, and what we found was the average length of marriage now is 8 years. And when we looked further, it's actually only 7 years because a divorce takes about a year to get through, and it bumps it up to 8 years. I don't know how long you've been married or where you're at in that, but 8 years, 7 years isn't that long. And that's actually, my parents got divorced at about that time frame. Then my first marriage, guess what? It was 8 years. So I'm part of that statistic now, unfortunately. 17% of couples are unhappy, or excuse me, only 17% of couples are happy in their marriage. So that means 83% aren't happy. So like, do the math there. Like, are you pretending, or are you part of that 17% that are actually truly happy in their marriage?
It's sad. That's why we're here. Like, this is why we're here. We get to have fun, exciting, happy relationships. This statistic has got to change. It has to change.
Couples argue on average of 7 times per day. And the reason why I put that on here is because if you lack the tools to get through the arguments or to avoid them, then you end up, shifting to the edge of the bed and being cold and trying to give your husband or your wife the silent treatment because you couldn't get through the argument with the right tools. So don't sleep on the edge of the bed.
So I remember when we were first married, thank God. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I've changed so much. But when we were first married and we would get in an argument, I would scooch all the way over to the side of the bed, and he would try to like rub my back, and I would like kick him. I'm like, don't touch me. I can't touch right now. I'm mad at you. Oh, I was just so mad, and I couldn't even stand the thought of him touching me because of unresolved issues, because of no tools. We didn't know. Nobody wants to be unhappy.
And then of course, as the husband, man, maybe you can identify with this in the chat. Like, we got to fix it. Like, she's unhappy. I got to fix it right now. I'm going to fix it. She's going to be happy like in 5 minutes, and I got this because we're fixers. That's what guys do. That's not what you needed. So if you're doing that right now, extra tip, stop it
Yeah.
Let her have her time. Let her figure it out on her own. She will, I promise. Just give her some space.
Yeah.
Don't try to fix everything, because I was Mr. Fix It. Even I've done that. Sometimes I forget and have a brain fart and try to fix it like last week. So we're always still a work in progress and getting it to work. The last one is the average cost of divorce with children. You can look this up, is about $15,500, and that's not including, alimony and all the emotional baggage and junk that comes with a divorce. And unfortunately, we know what that's like because we've gone through a divorce. We had kids. The Christmases, the Thanksgivings, there's the swapping of the kids. What grandparent are we going to for Christmas Eve, and who gets Christmas, and who does dad get, and when does mom get? Like, I can understand why God literally hates divorce, because there's so much that goes into that, like all the moving parts and all that damage that you have to repair. Like, even for us being married a second time, repairing that, like that first marriage and the stuff that happened and cheating and all that stuff, and we won't get into it. But the baggage, the emotional baggage, not only that, but the cost of $15,500, not including alimony and monthly child support,
your home being split apart,
your retirement,
cars, retirement, child support,
so much stuff,
all the things that are included with a divorce.
And we don't want that for you at all, clearly.
No.
So your marriage definitely is worth investing into. Clearly your marriage is worth investing into, and we've made such a big investment into our marriage. How much have we invested? 40,000 or something, like a lot of money,
like 40,000 at least.
And we're not making that up with hotel stays and conferences, but we've done a lot of work, and now we have this magical marriage because we've invested into it. Old habits die hard. So you don't have to continue to have the marriage that you have right now. You can start to improve.
Yeah, tonight. Literally, you can start implementing what we've talked about immediately. You get to have results tonight. And I'm so excited for you to get results tonight. And I can't wait for you to say, hey, like even tonight, like revelation, some stuff that you've realized, like let us know what has stood out for you, what is landing for you, what makes sense to you, what are you feeling, what are the things that are coming up for you right now tonight that you get to go home with. Because when you start putting in the chat, when you start like working together and talking it out and writing it down, you're going to retain so much more knowledge. So do the stuff, like write it in the chat. This stood out for me. This has changed my mind. I can't believe I used to think this way or have this expectation. Put it in the chat so that it gets ingrained into your mind and your body, so that you will transform your life and your relationship. And we do realize something too. We realize that you oftentimes, with coaching people, that you revert back into your comfort zone. And comfort zones is where people go to die. Like when you retire and you do nothing, you're like doing nothing. We don't want you to do that. If you don't change tonight and make that decision, it's about a decision, you'll live the rest of your life and have this marriage that might not be as happy as it could have been, which is exactly what we want for you, is to have that amazing marriage. So can I ask you a question? Would you agree that this has been time well spent so far? Have you gotten value tonight? If you have, say yes. Say yes in the comment. Yes. This is yes, yes, yes. I'm seeing it. Expectations equal frustration. Comparison is going to kill your intimacy. Remember the picture of the fail, of the Pinterest fail. How many of us have had those Pinterest fails in our life? Like, oh, our life looks like this, and we thought that it should look like that, right? Yeah, right. Trying to change your spouse, again, the way that is. I love that we are imperfect people and we get to do things imperfectly, and there's so much grace that we get to take action and do things imperfectly. And you're not trying to change us. So thank you that we get to be perfect, imperfect and vulnerable in front of you, and you're not trying to change who we are. So I love that. And now we get to implement that with our family. and realizing that they're not perfect people,
Right.
and we don't get to change who they are, and that God made them exactly how they are, and we get to accept ourselves and our spouse exactly where they're at, what they're doing, how they behave, how they communicate. We get to just really tap into this acceptance and not trying to change the person that you love the most.
Really good.
So, we cannot cover everything that you need to know in an hour webinar. It's just absolutely impossible. We have 10 years and thousands of dollars of information and knowledge inside of our mind, in our body, everything that we've learned. Even if we had all night and all day tomorrow, like, we just couldn't cover everything that we know. So we have a special offer for you so that you can get everything that you need to know. So would it be okay if I turn it over to Vince and he will let you in on a very special offer that we've come up with?
Can you give us a yes in the chat?
Yeah. Seeing all those yeses. And if you act fast, listen, we're going to give you a special deal that nobody else is going to get. So Vincent, take it over, my friend.
All right. What you are going to get if you decide to sign up with us tonight is 4 live Zoom trainings with us live in person. It's a $4,997 value. And you're going to be learning with Christine and I specifically the tools that we're going to give you to help create a happy marriage full of joy and intimacy. Intimacy is important in your marriage. And we go in depth and give you homework. We keep you accountable, and we want you to reach your goals, and you'll have specific goals. We're going to have live Q&A with dozens asking questions that maybe you are scared to ask, but someone's going to ask it. So you're going to get the value, and you're going to get the answers that you're looking for that can possibly dramatically change your marriage, helping you take the next steps to creating happiness in your home, which is valued at $1,497. Now, in the future, we're going to sell other courses, but this one specifically we're selling. But when we sell into the future, there's going to be no live, it's going to be no Zoom, there's going to be no Q&A, it's going to be the content. And we're valuing that at $1,497, and we're giving you access to that for life. Total value of all of this is $7,991, which to me is really, really good value. So who's this worked for? Well, it's worked for us. It's our blood, sweat, and tears and pain and our love. And it's just over a decade of us learning and growing as individuals and then together as husband and wife. It's worked for Katie and Tim, who literally were on the verge of divorce. They were ready to file for divorce. They were fed up with their relationship, the way it was going. They'd gone through counseling, they'd read the books, they've tried to do it on their own. They've done all the things that we talked about, which is where we're getting our content. And it was just after a few weeks of working with us, they went from can't stand each other to taking time and going on date nights every week, which is a big deal.
I got a text message and she's like, "Thank you for fixing us." And I'm like, "You're welcome. It's so much fun. I love it."
Ashley and Brian were frustrated all the time. Well, Ashley was. Her and Brian literally had screaming matches at one another. They could never seem to get on the same page, and they never felt really understood by one another, comparing like your husband and that sort of thing. And after a handful of sessions, they were able to get to the root of a lot of their problems that were causing them the disconnection. And now today they have a thriving marriage, one that is, looked at by others, one that's envied, if you will. So we had a couple of choices, Christine and I. The first choice was we can make this as cheap as possible and try to sell it to as many people as we could, which really didn't incentivize us to do that because we don't like doing that because we really value relationships and we want to have strong community. And we want to give you more tools. Yeah, as you can tell, we
put our heart into this stuff. Like, this isn't just stuff we're pulling out of our butts and saying like, I don't know, but this is like our heart to you. We want to give you time and all the tools that we have to offer, and we just can't do that cheaply.
The second option requires a little bit higher than an investment, but in exchange, we can devote all those resources and tools that she's talking about to you guys. So there's a little bit more than that. So we had the two choices and we chose the second one. But because you're on with us tonight, we have a couple of special offers that we're going to go over tonight, those of you who take action. So what you're getting is, again, the 4 live Zoom trainings $4,997, a live Q&A immediately following after our sessions, lifetime access to the content, which you're going to keep. That's valued at $1,497. Again, total value, insane value, is $7,991. But because you guys are on the webinar tonight, we have a couple of extra offers that we're going to give you because you're here if you take action tonight. So the first bonus that we're giving you for free, and the reason we're doing this is because the number one thing that our clients struggle with is intimacy. So if you sign up tonight, we're giving you Let's Talk About Sex. It's a $997 value. Like if you go to the website that we have and try to buy it, it's $997. We're giving it to you for free for those of you who sign up tonight. And we have 5 amazing speakers on there. You would know their names. Some of them you would know their names, and they've brought amazing content that we were able to apply and utilize in our marriage. Number 2 is Ignite Your Marriage. Again, it's a $997 value. If you go to the website, that's what it would cost. You're getting that for free as well, those of you who sign up tonight for our offer on this webinar. So what you're going to get, you're getting the 4 live trainings. It's $4,997. You're getting the live Q&A immediately following the trainings. That's not going to be recorded. It's $1,497. Lifetime access to the content that will be included in our future courses. The first bonus is Let's Talk About Sex. Intimacy is so important. The next bonus is Ignite Your Marriage. So if you're struggling, you need that reignition, date nights, whatever that looks like for you. That has 6 speakers included in it. That's for free. So total value is $9,985. And you can see we sell our courses for insane values. Are you guys seeing how much value we're trying to offer you guys tonight? So can you imagine how different your marriage is going to be after 30 days, or even tonight if you buy, you get the free stuff before we start. You could already dive in to Let's Talk About Sex and Ignite Your Marriage. So I got to ask you this. If all this did was help you communicate better, would it be worth it to you? If all this did was help you be free in your marriage, free of expectations, would it be worth it? If all this did was increase intimacy in your relationship, which so many struggle with, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Your marriage is worth investing into. What's your marriage worth to you? Would it be worth it to divert away from a divorce, which is going to cost you $15,500? So is your marriage worth $9,985, which is cheaper than a divorce? Is it worth $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 more? How much would you pay to get the marriage that you've always wanted? I can assure you that those who have gone through the divorce would have paid $9,985 to divert or get away from that $15,000 attorney bill, the alimony, the child support, the emotional baggage. All of that stuff is not fun. And we know that because we've done it. And you can see why other people are paying $9,985. But if you were to continue on the way that things were right now at this very moment, where will you be in 5 years? If you don't invest right now, will you be divorced in 5 years? Are you in that 8-year category? Would you still be giving this silent treatment, withholding sex, having a loveless, joyless relationship where you have to walk on eggshells with one another all the time? We're not knowing if what you're doing is going to be good enough. But what if in 10 years from now, you could have that hot, thriving, joyful, fulfilled marriage where you're not just doing that on vacation, but like we talked about, you're doing it every day. You're having that marriage every single day. So you can see why this is a good deal at $9,985. And we're actually selling this course on our website to the general public for $1,497. But because the pandemic of divorce is an issue, we really want to help people. Christine and I talked about this. We've asked some other people, and because you're on here tonight, because you guys are all special, if you start today, we're going to sell the course for those who sign up today for $997. So it's really simple to go to. We're going to give you that website right there, and I'm going to put it in the chat here in just a second. ShareYourLife.com/MM webinar. I'm going to put it in the chat, and you can link to it and go over to the website. But before I do that, I wanted to offer one more thing.
There's something else.
There's one more thing that I did,
What
and this
else?
was a surprise. I don't always do stuff like this because, you know, I value our time, but I really wanted to do this for you guys on this webinar tonight, sincerely. So if you sign up, we're offering a third bonus, which is a free one-on-one session with Christina and I. That's in addition to the course. So you're getting the live trainings, you're getting all that stuff. But in addition to that, we're going to hop on a Zoom one-on-one with you, which is a $497 value. And it's for the 5 people. The first 5 people that sign up tonight are getting this value.
This is the last time I leave you in charge of slides.
I'm the
Just
slide
kidding.
builder.
Surprise.
So we want you to get started today. I'm going to slide over here and put this in the chat. So you can go over to the website. I think that works. If it doesn't,
Let us know if it works.
copy it, put it into your
Somebody
browser.
can click on it and see if it's working.
Yeah. But if you get started now, it's just $997 today. So you have 2 choices. The first option is do nothing. Don't do anything. Just you enjoyed the webinar, take what we've given you, apply that at the minimum. Don't take a leap of faith, which is 100% risk free. I don't know if you're going to become a statistic in 8 years, that 8-year marriage where the average divorce age is 30 years old, if you keep doing what you're doing, but that's the definition of insanity when you keep doing what you're doing and you're expecting a different result. So you're getting insane value with this offer, and we're not going to do this offer again. It's seriously for you guys tonight. And we want to really help you solidify your relationship with your spouse, with your family. And the second option is you make this small investment today, which compared to all the value you're going to get in return, I don't know why you wouldn't just give it a shot so that you are avoiding what could be down the road. And I have to ask you, how many of you have invested in your business or a car or some side project or some other training that has nothing to do with your marriage, which is the most important relationship on the planet? How many of you have invested in your marriage? And I'll take it one step further, and I put this in here and she saw this too.
Gosh.
Sign up today, and if you don't like it, if it's 29 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and you're like, you know what, this stunk, we didn't like it, I'll refund all of your money because we're not in it for the money. I can assure you that. I trade crypto and stocks, and it's not about that. It's about making an impact in people's marriages because we know that that's the foundation of everything. And it's been that way for us. There's no way we could have moved across the country and I could have quit my job and did all those things if we weren't rock solid. It would not have happened. I wouldn't have had the courage, the stability to do that. It just wouldn't have.
Yeah.
So the real question is it worth gambling on for a few minutes of your time to check it out? Which even if it does half of what I said, or one thing, like if your intimacy goes through the roof, is it worth $997? And if you do it with your spouse, think about it. It's really like $500 a piece. That's like really, really inexpensive. I'm sure you spend that on going out to dinner a few times a month, depending on where you go.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really, really good value if you do it together. $497 or well, $500 a piece at the $997. So it's really good value. We want to help you create the marriage of your dreams. So other opportunities, like if you go out there and look for other coaching, you know, you'll be on your own guessing. You're probably going to go through a course. The coaches aren't there. There's no accountability. There's not the live group sessions together and the unlimited Q&A after. We're live together. You see us. We want to create community. We're devoted to you. We don't have 1,000 clients and we're just cookie cutter. Like this is specific for you. We are for you. We like the smaller community on purpose because we want to create amazing marriages all around us and a community of amazing people. So the next step that we'd love you to do is go to ShareYourLife.com/MM, which is Marriage Makeover webinar, and think about signing up. Like we would love you to be a part of our group. So I'm going to recap again what you're getting. 4 live Zoom trainings, $4,997 value. Live Q&A, which isn't recorded, so you're only getting it through here. Lifetime access to the content, $1,497 value. The bonuses, which you're getting today, let's talk about sex. Who wants more intimacy? I did, still do. Ignite your marriage. It's good to get that marriage reignited. The 6 speakers on there do an incredible job. The bonus free session with us for the first 5 of you who sign up of the one-on-one session, $497 value. The total value of all of this is $10,482. And we're giving up to you tonight, those of you who sign up, for $997. So if you haven't done it immediately, if you haven't thought about doing it yet, you know, is it like you need to talk to your spouse? Like, I get it. Like, I talked to Christina about everything, but how often in life do you not make decisions on your own? You get to stand, and I'm standing with you, to make a powerful choice for your marriage. You don't need to ask permission. In fact, I would probably think that you would have probably thanked me for stepping up and just making that a priority and just buying it. Reason number 2, I don't have the money. I think that you could come up with $1,000, and if you're looking at it as a piece, it's $500 a piece, especially when you realize you can't afford not to do this. A divorce is going to cost you a lot more than that $1,000. So I would beg, borrow, credit card, whatever it took to have the marriage of my dreams. And we did that. When we first got into trainings, I'm telling you, we didn't have the money. I worked for the state. We didn't have the budget for it. We used credit cards, but we couldn't afford not to go to the training to help us be where we are today. And I would have paid double what I paid if it meant that I had what I have today. No question. The third reason is you're just not that serious about your relationship. And I don't know if you'll be the statistic or not, but we were serious about our marriage. And I have the feeling that most of you are serious about your relationship in your marriage on this call. So we're nothing special. We weren't that good at communicating. We weren't good at having sex. We weren't good at letting go of control. I was such a control freak, but we persisted over time. And now we have the marriage that we have. And that's what we want you to do. Persist over time, invest in your marriage, and get where you need to be. So again, 4 live Zoom trainings, $4,997 value, live Q&A immediately following that we're not recording. So you're going to get that special $1,497 value, lifetime access to the content, $1,497. The bonuses, let's talk about sex. I know the guys, probably some of the girls want to talk more about sex. Igniting your marriage, going out on those date nights or whatever that means for you. The bonus free one-on-one session with us. We're making extra time on top of the course, on top of the live trainings and the Q&A. We want to spend more time with you. Total value, $10,482. We're giving it to you tonight for $997. And again, the first 5 people who sign up for this, you're getting that free coaching session with both of us. You're getting 2 coaches. That's the thing, is you're getting both of us. We're both going to be on the call. I'm not going to like shove it on the Christina and vice versa. We both are going to be there for you guys, holding you accountable and making and helping your marriage succeed. So if you get started right now, you're going to get started for $997 today. We're excited to have you guys with us to build this amazing community together. And yeah, we're excited for you guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us. We are going to turn off the recording and we're going to move on to live Q&A. So if there's any questions that you have either about the offer or about any of the content that we went over or about signing up or any of these things, we're here, we're available, we're open to chat and talk to you about it right now.
And I'm going to hit stop on the recording.